Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for Retailpreneur. This session is Square Up Your Sales, Mastering Square for Retail Success. We have a fantastic presenter from Square joining us today, who Tom will introduce in just a few minutes. Just a couple quick things. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. We'd love to know where you're joining us from, as well as post any questions for Martine, our presenter. We will ask those at the end of today's session after we finish recording. We thank you for joining us for this conference. It has been fabulous so far. We have more sessions, and I will share that at the end of today's workshop today. Today's presenter comes from Square, and I also want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Localite, and our supporting sponsors, Freedom First, the Roanoke City Market Building, and our media sponsor, Cardinal News. A little bit about the SBDC. We are funded in part through a cooperative agreement with United States Small Business Administration, and we are supported by America's SBDC, the Virginia SBDC, George Mason University Enterprise Center. Other funding is provided by local administrations, economic development, offices, organizations, and businesses that are all small business champions. We want to give a special thanks to the City of Roanoke for providing space and support for our work. The Greater Roanoke and New River Valley Small Business Development Center currently serves the Greater Roanoke Valley, New River Valley, the Allegheny Highlands, and Franklin County. I'm going to pause our recording.
Of all the classes that got going on this week, this is probably the one I've been looking more forward than anyone, even more the one that I taught, is that Martine Guillermo, hope I didn't destroy your name there, he's a member of the Global Policy Partnerships and Community Impact Team at Block, focusing on providing educational workshops with technical assistance providers across the globe. So if you're not familiar with Block Inc., they're the global technology company with a focus on financial services. And they're made up of companies like Square, Cash App, Spiral, Tidal, and TBD. And they build tools to help people access the economy. So Martine, as an e-commerce specialist, he has over 15 years in the website and domain name industry and has been helping Square sellers broaden their customer base for providing both on-site and online educational programs centered around the Square ecosystem, which is, as we were talking a minute ago, I think they now have like 35 products. When I remember when they first started, we had the little Square thing you plugged into your phone and you accepted credit cards, and that was about it. But they have grown tremendously since then. Martin also heads up a cross-functional project supporting Spanish-speaking and indigenous small businesses and other communities and third-party partners around the globe. So anyway, I'm excited to hear about all of this. I'm always trying to learn about what Square is coming up with next. So Martine, it's all yours.
All right, thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. And super excited to be here. Is this the inaugural Retailpreneur Conference? Cool. It's so that's awesome. I was wondering about that. And it's an amazing idea. I love it. I'm sure this is going to be something that's just going to keep growing every year. So looking forward to participating in the future as well. So as Tom mentioned, and you said my name perfectly, Martine Guerrero here from Square. Happy to speak with you all and excited to present and answer any questions you may have. So as mentioned, it's a retail conference, right? We're talking about all things retail today. So I'll get right into it here. All right, so number one, let's talk about just some of the things that you're going to want to do to have success with your retail business, whether you're just starting, you're growing, you've been around a while. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always taking any opportunity I can to watch webinars, do workshops, just because I don't know everything, right? So I want to know as much as I can from experts. So the biggest challenge I see folks having is understanding their inventory levels. Taking stock of your inventory levels, understanding your data, right, can do wonders, for your business. Which is why it's smart to review, performance reports to further inform your purchasing and promotional plans. Having the reports on hand, right, with the most important, retail key metrics to help you give confidence, in your plans moving forward. Performance insights, right, will shed light on your business seasonality, which product categories, your SKUs, which ones had high or low sell-through, and where your profit margins might be thinner than you'd like, or better than you expected, right? So I see a lot of businesses using Square for Retail specifically, to get access to those critical reports that help inform you of your sales and operating plans going into the new year. Things like cost of goods, projected profit, vendor sales, inventory by category, and inventory sell-through. Just all of this information that will just help you in your business and moving forward with your business. And a lot of the info we're going to be talking about today is, for the past few years now, Square has partnered with Wakefield Research to survey consumers, retail owners, restaurant owners in the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia to uncover insights about the commerce landscape. And we're going to dig into some of those findings today. All right. So using performance, right? I kind of talked about that a little bit. The inventory piece, just knowing what you have on hand, crucial to your business, whether you're a brick and mortar, whether you're a pop-up. Just knowing what you have on hand is going to be vital to your business success. And again, using those performance insights to forecast demand, knowing what sold, what we have, I think it's next week already, 4th of July. Maybe you have a 4th of July promotion coming up this next week. You go through that and, you're planning for next year's 4th of July event, and you can start using that data from last year. What sold, what didn't sell, what, if it was a week-long promotion that you offered, like what days were the best, right? What days, when you send out that marketing campaign, what days did people start using the coupon code that you offered, or start clicking that call to action that you placed within your, within your marketing campaigns, right? Just using all of that data to be able to understand what's going to be coming next, because you really just don't want to get caught off guard and figuring out, like, just last minute or offhand where your business is going, right? We see a lot of businesses make that mistake and either over purchase inventory. They had inventory that they could have sold, but went and bought more when they didn't need to because that item wasn't selling very well, or didn't work with their vendors enough to get a better discount on the goods that are selling well in order to get a better profit margin there on those items that are really in demand. So these are all available. I don't want to talk about, I guess, Tom, like I said, I can talk about Square products, but I won't go into them too deep. But a lot of our businesses that are using things like our Square for Retail plan, right, are using these reports to the maximum to be able to know, really what's happening with their business. All right, here's the crucial one here, right? Facing inflation, higher costs, right? Your customers are feeling less optimistic about their financial situations in the face of financial uncertainty. And customers are mindful of where they spend their money, right? Seeking out businesses that really offer value and efficiency. So to keep up with customer preferences, evolving customer preferences, right, retailers plan to focus on adopting faster and easier communication channels, offering more in-store events and shopping experiences, doubling down on loyalty programs, right? Rewarding those customers that are visiting you quite a bit, are really helping to keep your business afloat, right? And accepting emerging payment methods, right? Like Tom mentioned, Square started that little white card reader, but there's so many ways that you can take payments now. Buy now, pay later options are one of the more popular, newer options out there. There's a company called Afterpay that Square now owns, that's integrated into Square that offers that solution. QR code payments. Everybody remember during COVID, all of a sudden menus went away and you just had a QR code at the table and you'd scan it with your phone and look at your menu there to avoid, having to clean menus every day. There's all these different options out there. Google Pay, Apple Pay, just all of these other payment methods out there. When we talk about like the in-store events, shopping experiences, right? One that I've seen, there's a couple here that I've seen. I'm based out of our Phoenix, Arizona office, and nearby, maybe a couple of blocks away, we have a Square merchant, the Scottsdale Native Art Market, that offers goods from many different Native American vendors in their one shop. But I can't remember, it's either Wednesday or Thursday, they have a live flute player in there. So folks know that, hey, they have, or it's either a flute player or, just music in general, they'll have someone there, right? So folks know, hey, they're going to come do some shopping anyway. That's probably a good day to do it. And, listen to the flute player, dancers, things like that, right? They have an actual, the way they've set up their space, they actually have a corner where it's like almost a small stage where folks know that things are going to happen there. And they always get when new folks walk in, they'll see that stage and they're wondering, why do you have a stage here? Oh, well, on Thursdays we have we have live music, and they also on the weekends they when you walk in and they spot you and say hello, they offer you a glass of wine, and they have a Keurig machine in the back as well. Here you can brew yourself a cup of coffee and shop, right? Versus just, hey, we have a retail space, come in, look around. If you have any questions, let me know, right? That standard type of interaction. They're really using that experience selling to maximize their customer satisfaction. Those folks feel it's an experience, right? They're in a very touristy type area, so they get a lot of word of mouth from folks like, oh, you really need to check out this store, right? They'll offer you a glass of wine or they'll have live music, and they're all while you're going to be shopping anyway. Might as well go to a cool spot like that. The other one I'm seeing a lot of that brick and mortar retailers are taking advantage of is live shopping experiences via social media, right? They're posting live to their favorite social media channel and showcasing the store, like, hey, we've got new inventory in, right? We've got this new line of clothing from Heather, right? Heather, our designer Heather, just dropped this new line. Come check it out. Here it is. Like, take a look at it, right? They're showcasing that product live in store to their followers, which it's social media, and they can click on the link and buy from their website if they'd like. But it's generating that buzz and getting folks in to look at it, to try it on, and of course purchase that, right? So just you're looking at just different ways of interacting with the customer that will give them that unique experience, which again leaves an everlasting impression in your customer's mind to come back and see what's new. I mentioned that a little bit, right? A seamless omni-channel experience, selling and managing inventory in person, online, and across channels needs to be flawless, right? You need to have in addition to an online store and brick and mortar locations, right? Retailers are capturing sales and winning the loyalty of customers through their social media channels, through third-party marketplaces, right? Some of the one of the stats I have here, right? 52% of consumers have bought products directly from social media in the past month, or those about 1/3 have bought between 1 and 4 products. So the online shopping experience, especially from social media, is massive. The popularity of it, never to be understated. And on average, consumers report purchasing 5 products from social media in the past month. So it's a force to be reckoned with. And the shoppers who bought products directly from social media also shop online more often than in store. So those folks that are following you online, interacting with you online and through your social, are more likely to just purchase from you online than in store. But it is a fantastic way to direct folks to your store, especially those folks that are local, to come in. Again, that in-store shopping experience is bar none, going to be better than an online experience, because there's touch, there's feel, right? There's if you got candles going on, right, there's smell, you're activating all of these different senses versus just the visual, which the online or the social gives you. But definitely seeing that a lot. And I know, Square offers our Square online store, which interacts perfectly with your retail, with your point of sale, right? So whether your customers buying from you online, you integrated, your store to your Facebook, through your Facebook shop and your Instagram shop or TikTok. That's all coming into one central location. So you're not having to, log into one account to find out, where people are buying from your online store and into your dashboard to find out where they're purchasing, how the sales are going in store. Like all of that is in one place. And again, goes all the way back to your data and all of that to seeing where are folks buying from, right? Looks like we're split 50-50 online and in store. Or if you see it skewed one way or the other, it's like, how do we get them to the other end, right? If you've got a lease on a brick and mortar location and 75% of your sales are coming from online and only 25 from in person, right? Like let's get those loyal buyers and get them in the store, because we know, we're gonna meet them, we're gonna greet them, we're gonna be able to offer a much better tailored experience in person, and that's usually gonna lead to a bigger average order size, right? I know for me, like when I shop online and I look for what I want, I get that item, right? That's it. But if I'm in the store, right, I might pick up this and browse, and I'll pick up that, and okay, now I got to get them matching this piece, like, and then I'm going to the counter with 5 items instead of just the one that I would purchase online. So a lot of ways you can do that. Folks are really looking at that. The loyalty program I mentioned, your loyalty program, you want to be sure you have that online and in person. And loyalty programs are another way that you can, differentiate yourselves, right? When I talk about loyalty programs, it's, you probably remember the old, buy 10 subs, get the 11th free on your punch card. If you lost the punch card, right, you were out of luck. Or stores would face folks punching it themselves and getting rewards that maybe they shouldn't have, right? It's all available digital now, and you want to be sure that's available online and in person. So if I for my birthday, I got a $100 gift card from my sisters, and to a favorite shop of mine. I could spend 50 in their store. I could spend 50 on their website if I wanted to, right? I could do both, and while I'm purchasing, I'm getting loyalty points from that as well. There was a bar and grill in Memphis, Tennessee that I worked with, and they were integrating their loyalty program, and they really wanted it to be a little bit different. They had a lot of regulars that came in, and on Wednesday nights they had different bands in and offered live music on Wednesday nights. But they had a cover charge for that, right? That helped to pay for the band and all of that. So they had a cover charge, and they thought, well, what can we do different, with this? So as their loyal customers, their regular customers were buying, food, beverage from there, right? They were earning loyalty points towards a free cover charge, right? So after they spent a certain amount, they earned a free cover charge. So those loyal customers that were going to come in anyway and buy food and beverage didn't have to pay the cover charge. They're going to be there anyway, but now they get the added benefit of getting that that band experience for free because they're a loyal customer. Right, just getting really, really creative with that. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. It's just thinking outside the box a little bit to do so. All right, I like this slide a lot here, and this covers restaurant and retail, but we can focus on the retail part. More than now, more than ever, right? Businesses are going all in on automation tools. Also maybe known as AI. You may have heard that phrase, thrown around a little bit lately. They're going all in on automation tools. If you didn't know it already, we're in the midst of an automation era. Consumer demand for automated solutions definitely on the rise, adding the impact on employees and the bottom line. And it's just not surprising at all that business owners are deepening their investment in these tech tools. Automation can help improve not only your operational efficiencies, but it can also enhance the entire customer experience. We talk about an example there. I had a food truck that I work with, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, that, typical food truck, right? They park, they set up an awning, you go to the window, you order, the other window, they serve food. Well, they were running low. I'm sure you've probably dealt with this as well if you're a retailer, right? Staffing shortages and just being able to find, employees, right? So they were running into that. And the solution for that was they used the Square kiosk, which is a newer product of ours as well. They set up a Square kiosk under a shaded area, right? And they had a sign, order here. People lined up, placed their order on the kiosk, went straight into the kitchen in the food truck, and everyone, it was all hands on deck. Everyone's in the, in the truck working to get those orders ready, call them out without, having to then spend the time with someone in person, right? To take those orders. That person that normally was doing that was helping, make sure all their orders were correct, all the food was on the plates, right there. They were good to go, which saved them a lot of time. And the customers understood, right? Like, hey, you're seeing this in many large, retailers, restaurants as well, fast food restaurants. You're seeing more and more the kiosk type ordering, and this was more just out of necessity because they needed a better way for folks to get their orders in while focusing on the food portions. So that's just one example there. We took, in the survey I mentioned, more than half of the restaurant owners we talked to plan to put more spending into technology and automation tools. And then for retailers, focus on growth over the next year. Nearly half also said they were planning to automate order tracking, increase use of chatbots, automating automating payroll, benefits, things like that. That normally think of are like more labor type tasks, more paper type processes. And then 45, nearly 50% of our retailers have seen greater employee retention and increased profit as a result of their automation investments, whether that's online ordering through a bot, or delivery, offering through delivery apps, things like that, where the process is automated, right? They're definitely directly benefiting their customers and their customer experience and the employees as well. And then customers, we've seen also support businesses seeking ways to automate, with 67% of retail customers preferring that businesses use automation over live staff in at least one area, particularly for repetitive admin tasks like making reservations or checking product inventory, things like that. So it's not just the business using that, but there's a high demand for consumers as well to make those processes faster, easier, through all of that tooling there. All right, last piece here that I've got, and this slide here, I like this one a lot because it really just covers a lot of kind of what we talked about and just how retailers are planning to stay, competitive, improving customer relationships through faster and easier communication channels. We talked a little bit that on through social media, being able, it's never been easier really to communicate with your favorite businesses, whether that's a live chat option on the website, through phone call, or again just speaking them directly through social media channels. Providing more payment options, like I mentioned, like buy now, pay later, tap payments, chip card payments, QR codes, invoices, payment links. Like there's just all of these different ways that folks are using. Number one, to just never miss a sale, but also offering all the different ways folks want to pay. I mentioned things like Apple Pay or Google Pay, right? That more and more the wallet is, the phone is this replaced your camera that was in your pocket. It's also replacing the cards in your wallet as well. We touched on offering more in-store events and shopping experiences, right? You're seeing that, really taking off, and folks getting super creative with the ways that they're offering that to get folks in there. I'll touch on that a little bit more. I'm seeing a lot more of these in-store experiences or events where businesses are working together to offer events. It might be a block party that, the businesses on a specific, street are banding together to offer a block party, and you can visit all the vendors, and maybe, the retail shop is using the wine and cheese board from the restaurant across the street, right? And they're collaborating with that. Like, oh, did you enjoy the wine? It's right across the street there. You can pick it up there. Or they're in the wine shop. Like, oh, you came to us from Heather's Dress Shop, right? Like, cool. That's awesome to know. Like seeing that collaboration, which is awesome to see. Strengthening, just talked about this, the Memphis example there, strengthening customer loyalty through strong rewards program, right? Rewarding those customers that are in it for the long term, that are coming to you, repeat. I mean, you all know, those repeat customers are a much better lifetime value than that customer that just comes in that one time. Maybe makes a big purchase, but they come in that one time and you never see them again. Reaching and engaging customers through a marketing program. Marketing, wow, that's changed immensely, right? In the past few years, email marketing is still one of the better returns on investment out there. It's been around forever. People think, oh, email, but text message marketing has really taken off and biting into a chunk of that marketing piece as well. I mean, again, we're all walking around with this in our pocket. Maybe we check our email every so often versus, if we get a ding on our phone that we have a message, we're almost always going to check that right away. And if it's, something that you worked with to offer, a coupon code for your customer's birthday, or again, a promotion for the upcoming 4th of July event, right? That text message marketing is great. And then social media, great. I mean, almost free tool, right? You can pay to promote ads, but for the most part, all of the platforms are free. They offer you tons of opportunities to get in front of customers, new customers, existing customers, right? Great experience overall. Offering more personalized digital shopping experience, right? That online experience being, a very, very easy experience for your customers to go through, whether that's, buying online, picking up in store, or buying online and having it delivered, or buying online and having it shipped, right? Just offering all of these different ways that they can interact with your business. Hosting events, right? To encourage more in-person connections, right? Those folks, when I talk to retailers, and I talk to a lot of customers as well, they can go into a lot of big box locations, stores, and buy what they need, but that experience is not the same as buying from a local shop where they know the owner, right? They know the cashier, they know, your staff, right? They know your story, right? They know that, you're a family-owned business. You started it right before COVID, and, you got through COVID, and now you're flourishing, and they're glad to see that you made it, and they love coming in and buying from you and just chatting with you because they know you're a real, you're a real business, not just this major corporation that they just don't have any interaction with. And then just adding more unique products and offerings, right? Looking at what's that next thing that is going to keep folks engaged with you. We talked about, using the live shopping experience to showcase a brand new product line that you may have that folks didn't know. Maybe, you were a boutique that offers, vintage clothing, but now you're going into vintage jewelry, or you're offering, custom made clothing, or whatever, whatever that might be, to just keep, your customers engaged, keep them happy that, hey, now I don't have to go somewhere else. I can go here and get even more stuff from you, support, a local business. All right. So I know that was a little faster than I thought it was going to be, but hopefully we've got some questions. I know, Tom, we may have had some before, but if we have some in the chat here that we can go through.
Well, I made 2 pages of notes, so I got the questions. Right. So one question, since we're dealing with retail, this is retailpreneur, or dealing with retailers. What kind of products? Let's just take an example. Let's say I have a retail business, bricks and mortar store. I'll also have thinking about putting an online presence. Also sell at pop-up events or maybe farmers markets. What are some of the products that would really be useful to me, and how they all tie in to my business and how I could best use your products? I mean,
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I think as far as like the payments aspect of it, right? It doesn't have to be anymore just the standard, you have a device on your counter that just stays there and folks have to go right there to check out, right? I mean, that's still obviously a very, very viable option. And we offer, countertop registers and countertop stands that you can do that. But more and more so, like, as a great problem to have, right? Your store's busy. You got people lining up at the counter to check out. You can have the handheld terminal, and you can go into lines and start, line busting with the handheld, device to kind of speed that line up and be able to do that. Or someone, sees there's a line, they've got one item in their hand, and they're like, maybe I don't want to wait. It's like, cool. Hey, you know what? I can do tap to pay, right? That's an option we have today. I can do tap to pay. You can tap to pay right on the phone here, get you checked out and get you going, right? Great. Like that makes it so much easier for me. Check out, done, right? And while they're taking care of the other line there. So thinking of just all the different ways, QR codes, another way, right? To be able to do that. But yeah, just thinking of just the different ways that you can bust those lines. Again, if you're going to do a pop-up event, right, having that mobile device is going to be a much easier trek than setting up, a stand with your iPad, and maybe you need power, right? This way you have a mobile device that's charged up. You don't have to worry about needing power. You just need high Wi-Fi from your hotspot from your phone, or if there's Wi-Fi in the area, you can use that as well, right? Makes it super easy for you to just take that device, go do the pop-up event, festival, whatever it is. And that's all syncing to, it's all out of one account. So it's not like, well, now I have, a different account for my pop-up. It's all in one account that you're able to then, see how did the pop-up event compare to our in-person sales that day? Where did we get a lot of foot traffic that day of the pop-up from people, hearing about it?
so how would you, let's go to the online aspect. If I'm interested in setting an online, how does that work? If I have inventory, do I need to be using a Square website, or do you have a widget that can pop into my website that handles my e-commerce and so that my in-store stockage level shows on my website stockage level? Those are the kind of questions I get a lot.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And that's what we refer to as omni-channel, right? Being able to purchase here, there, and everywhere. So we do offer Square Online, right? Square started 2009, mostly in-person type payments, right? As we evolved, we've now, in 2018, we purchased a company called Weebly.com, where I had been for 5 years, and it was an e-commerce platform. And we launched the Square Online store in 2019, which gives you the ability to build a fully functioning online store, shipping, taxes, pickup, delivery. The important piece of that is that syncs with your point of sale and your inventory. So you don't have an online inventory, you don't have an in-person inventory. You just have inventory that wherever you're selling from is pulling from that inventory. So let's say, Tom, you've got a bike shop, and I buy the last beach cruiser that you had, the blue beach cruiser that you had. I think we're showing on your online store that now shows sold out. Now it shows sold out on your point of sale as well. So it's not something that you can sell in person either. And again, that's always syncing, so you don't have to worry about managing two separate things. So again, that's what we refer to as omni-channel. And then you can also, if you already have a website, which most folks do, but now and you're taking payments in person with Square, you can then just add an ordering page to your existing website. Add a button to your existing website, shop here, and it just opens up the online ordering page where all those orders again are syncing through your point of sale, right? So if I, again, in that bike example, maybe I want to just buy the bike online and pick it up in your shop, right? It's a big bike, right? I don't want to have it shipped. Maybe I'm local, but I want to, I see you've got one in stock, and I want to buy it before someone else does. So I'm going to buy it online. Say I'm going to pick it up in store. I pull up my text message order notification and say I'm here. I'm in the blue, Toyota Tacoma out in slot number 3. You get that message on your point of sale. You bring it out and throw it in the back of my pickup, and I'm done. Right? You can offer that experience, what you're seeing, right, in a lot of big box retailers, that ability to order online and just pick up, either in the parking lot or at a specific counter within the store, you have that ability through Square to do that same thing and compete with those bigger box retailers.
That's kind of neat. Now, what if you have a multi-store? Does that work also as part of that multi thing where if you have 2 or 3 stores, does that inventory all tie into each store automatically too?
It absolutely does. Yeah. So you'll like and we see this a lot with restaurants that have multiple locations, right? They're not going to build a website for each location. They're going to have their main website with their offerings, and then when you order, you pick the actual location. So I'll pick retail spot number 1, order it pick it up from there. You can have essentially different online ordering pages for each one that maybe you don't offer some accessories at one location than another, right? So you can kind of mix and match that. It doesn't have to all be the same. But yeah, there's going to be that central inventory piece that you can then, add, inventory is available at this location, not this location, and vice versa.
Cool. Well, there's a couple of questions in the chat box. Let me read a couple of them. So we have one person asked, they carry products and they need to start doing barcodes. Does Square do barcodes? Is that an upgrade? Is that an additional service fee that you have to have in order to do barcodes or whatever?
Yeah, so we have Square. We have different couple of options, right? When we first launched, we had the Square point of sale, which is used by millions of businesses. It's versatile, can be used for restaurants or retail. We also have now Square for retail, which is going to give you specific tools, reports, retail focus. I think barcodes is going to be a part of that. So you definitely want to look at Square for retail. We have a free version, but I believe barcodes might be under the paid option there.
Okay. Another question is asking, if I don't know my customers' names and phone numbers, how does text marketing work? I know I buy some things from some businesses, and I give them a credit card number. Next thing I know, I get a receipt in my email, even though I've never given that information to them. So I guess Square somehow collects that data. But if I have a small business and I want to start doing text message, I want to do email marketing, what's the solution that y'all have available? And do we have to personally grab that information from our customers to use it?
So you do. So, the great piece about Square is we take care of the PCI compliance. So you don't have to do that. So any information that's stored is stored by Square, not by the business, right? So you're not having to worry about that. But yeah, so that's essentially the process at the point of sale, right? So they go through the checkout process. How do they want their receipt? Text or email, right? I mean, it's collecting it right then and there. And that's associating it with the card that they're purchasing. So let's say, I go in and I purchase from a location. I add my phone number for my receipt, and then maybe I go in with my family another day and we purchase again, put in my number for the receipt, but I used my wife's card instead. Maybe I didn't have my wallet, I just used her card. It's going to associate that card with that number, so we'll get those receipts anytime. So now anytime I use that card, it's automatically going to associate it with that, and that's how your receipt's going to come. Now, that's one way, right? You can ask for that upfront. They can sign up for your loyalty right at the point of sale when they make a purchase. Would you like to sign up for our loyalty program to earn points, rewards, stars, on your next future purchases? Yes, no, right? They can do that. You can do that on your website as well, right? Would you like to sign up for our loyalty program when you're through the purchase? I mean, we've all seen, you go to a website, pop-up, right? Pop-up window shows up. Hey, join our news, give us your email for, to join our quarterly newsletter or anything like that, right? You're giving permission you're giving me your email, you're giving me permission to send out my quarterly newsletter, which is your email marketing, right? Or, you can set that up, receive text message marketing as well. So I still see it a lot at farmers markets, right? Someone will put a clipboard out. Hey, sign up for our newsletter. Give us your name and email or name and phone number, right? They grab that and then they go back and they go and log into their Square account. You have your customer directory, which is where all your customers are stored, and they add them in there, right? Maybe they'll add them to a spreadsheet and import that spreadsheet, or just maybe they got 5 names and numbers and just go in and manually type them in to the customer directory to then market to them.
Cool. So what are, as a retail store, what are you seeing as the most popular products that retailers are using? I know you've got, again, you mentioned 35 different products you got. Which are the ones that stand out? If I'm a retail store, I really got to go, I really need to have that one.
The loyalty program is probably one of the big, loyalty and marketing, I mean, go together. We didn't even touch on gift cards. That's a must-have today, right? Offering the ability for folks to buy gift cards. And again, those gift cards, omni-channel, they're going to need to work in person and online to do that, right? We see folks really using gift cards as a way to increase order sizes, right? For most folks, if you get a gift card, like if you're like myself, I look at that gift card as a discount code, right? So if I walk in and I've got $100 gift card, I'm probably going to look at something that's $150 because now I'm only spending $50 for that $150 item. Or I can look at it as a 50% off. I buy something for a $200 item, my gift card's worth $100. Now I'm only spending $100 instead of the $200 that the item is. So we're really seeing our retailers average order sizes on gift card purchases being more than the gift card itself. So they're really maximizing that experience. Again, for shoppers always looking for a deal, that gift card is a great way to do that. But then again, loyalty is a great way to do that. Letting those folks that are coming in regularly and knowing that, hey, like we know that you're coming in regularly. Here's a coupon code for the next time you're in. If you give us your birthday, we'll send you out a special birthday promo. Maybe not a lot of people do that, and you're the one that you're one of the few that did it. So we're going to look at giving you something special because you took advantage of that. So loyalty is one, gift cards is another. And then again, text message marketing is really taking off just because it's capturing attention immediately. That ding on your phone or that vibration, you feel you're looking to see what it is, and it's right in your face there.
So I was interested about what you said earlier about a product I was not familiar with. Is the Square kiosk. I found it really interesting for restaurants, but since we're talking retail, is anybody in the retail arena using the kiosks as any unique or innovative way?
Yeah, it's a fairly new product. It actually just launched within, I believe, the last 2 months. It's been in beta for some time. We do have a developer platform as well. So we've had some spaces actually use the API and like develop their own interface, and then Square is processing the payments through the backend. But this is our own first-party solution, right? We saw it for. I saw it recently for a retail space using it for folks to buy tickets to a play, right? It was a theater, and this essentially was another box office, right? So they could go there, purchase the ticket, to get in. It's digital. Then they walk in, show the receipt or the QR code on there, it gets scanned, and they're able, to get in. Same thing with in that same theater. Behind every seat was a QR code where you scanned it and you could order food or merch, and then just it is brought right to you, right? So kind of that's another thing we're seeing a mix of businesses, right? That multi experience restaurant, retail, services like that. You're seeing a big mix of that as well. So you could walk up to the kiosk, purchase your ticket, and then use a QR code for ordering merchandise that was delivered right to your seat.
Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's a product I can really see going big time in the food industry. So, and hopefully we can figure out ways to use it in the retail sector better too. So we'll have another question. This is participant, Sarah, her current website is Squarespace, which we know is not Square, even though people get that confused all the time. It's certainly not the first person who's ever asked me that question. So, but they're using Square as their POS. Is there any way to tie those two together, or you would have to basically? I assume, Sarah, that you're using the Squarespace e-commerce, which means you would have to convert to the Square e-commerce solution, but you could still use the Squarespace website.
Right. So if Sarah, if you're using a Squarespace website and you don't have online ordering through that website, you can use that website and then through Square just create the actual shop page and then connect the two. We've had that a lot, right? So like I mentioned, we launched Square Online in 2019, not that long ago, right? A lot of companies were already out there, so a lot of folks were using other companies for their website, and we're not necessarily looking for everybody to just switch to Square Online. If you've got a website that's up, you've built it, it's beautiful, it's great, no worries. Just add the online piece. Again, you can add a button on your website, existing website, or even a link that says, shop here, buy now, and it'll open up the ordering page.
Awesome. I think that's the only questions we've got in the chat box. I guess we're getting close to the end here. One of my last questions is that we're not going to tell anybody, but do you have any upcoming products that you can share and that are really unique, or things that are coming up that nobody else knows about right now that
Kiosk is, like I said, kiosk is fairly new. Yeah. For those that don't know, we also offer banking solutions and bill pay. We kind of touched on that beforehand. Is something that is going to be a big focus, right? Where you're able to pay your vendors, your merchants, things like that, to be able to offer that. Not a lot of folks know that we offer payroll as well. So we have a Square Payroll where you clock in and out right on the point of sale, right? You have an app that you can communicate with your team. They can switch. We offer scheduling shifts, things like that for folks to, if John wants to switch shifts with Jill, they can do that and on their own, and you have your staff there. And it just, it all goes through Square. You can export that into ADP or Paychex or any other provider, but we offer a competing solution for that as well. Again, a whole ecosystem of products and services that all work together. A lot happening in the AI space as well. That's probably the one area that we'll keep iterating on. Within Square right now, we have it integrated with the website builder, where it'll help you with generating product descriptions or copy on your website. We have a photo app that can remove backgrounds and add a background, and for your products to showcase on your website. Inside of email marketing and text messages as well, right? It's going to help write a lot of that copy for you. Like, it's going to help pretty much just build it for you to do that. Another area that it's going to be really useful in is reporting, right? Being able to run a report on my 4th of July sales, and give me a list of my top selling items, from 1 to 10, or anything like that. So really, in a lot of what we're doing at Square right now with our products is really looking at how we can give a business owner time back, right? You're busy. You're running a business is not easy by any means. I understand that. We understand that. So if there's anything we can do to help, with that, again, with the website builder, being able to just build that shop page instead of having to redo the whole thing and build a new store. Or, when you get in there, the website builder, maybe it's your first time, it's offering you these solutions to help build it for you with a template, and you just, switch out the images and the descriptions are there for you. Or, I bet if you log into your Square account right now and you go to email marketing, it's going to say, here's a 4th of July template you can use, just add your own information in there. You're not having to start one from scratch, right? It's going to be already, have the stars and stripes and maybe some fireworks, on that template already. That, again, it's going to make it super fast and easy for you to, to get that out there and focus on your business.
So as we talked about before we got live here, about your banking, that's interesting. It's understanding more about the banking services that you have to offer that many people are obviously familiar with. Hey, I run my credit card through it, and then the money goes from there down to my bank account. What
Yeah.
are the services bank-wise?
So we offer just about, I mean, we offer checking, savings, business debit card. That money, you know, anytime you process your sales, that money goes right to the card and you're able to use it right away. The one that I love is our Square Loans program, right? We offer loans anywhere from $300 up to $250,000. Now, on average, our loans are $6,500 to $7,000, right? So what most financial institutions would consider like a micro loan, right? And those are paid back daily from your card sales. So you pay less on slower days, more on busier days. You know, and it's all based off of your processing with Square. Normally, have the I think it might have been shortened a bit now, but it used to be, you know, you had to be processing with us for a year. You know, so we kind of had an overview of what that business looks like throughout the year, and you know, you get a loan offer, right? That $7,000 could mean a down payment on a new, you know, on a lease, you know, on a brick and mortar location, or maybe you just leased a space and you need to renovate it. That money might go towards, you know, renovating that space, or you know, buying hardware to implement a new kiosk system, or you know, or whatever that might be, right? So it's really just helping those businesses grow. Like, you know, if you're a brand new business, we're not going to offer you the $250,000. We're not in the business of putting you into debt and you know, putting you out of business. We want you to grow, right? The better you do, the better we do. So that, I mean, I love that product. When you sign up for Square, you know, we don't ask you, are you male, are you female, are you black, are you white? Like, we don't know any of that information about you. All it sees is a healthy business. And so, Sarah, you might log into your account, and I see she has a question there. You might log into your account one day and see a loan offer from Square, and it'll say, hey, great news. We think you might be able to use a $10,000 loan. And you click on it to get more details, and then say, we're going to loan you $10,000. Here's the flat rate for that loan, right? It's not interest-based. It's a flat rate, and this is how much it is. Right now, you can deny the loan. Obviously, right? You do not have to take it. You can just say, no, thanks, move on. Or you can say, well, that's awesome. I don't really need 10,000. I don't want to go 10,000. You know, I don't want to take out 10,000. You can just do the slider and move it down to 5 or 7 or 2,500 or whatever it is that you need, and that flat rate amount will then change, right? And then you'll see upfront, hey, when you're done paying this off, this is the total it's going to cost you. Right up front, you'll know that, and it'll just start taking it out. The money's, if you have Square checking, that money's going to be available instantly, right? It's going to go right into that Square checking account for you to be able to spend that same day. Normally, if you have like a checking through another party, it's just going to take a day or two.
What's the terms? I know the interest rates doesn't apply, but with regards to term, are these considered short-term 6-month, 1-year max loans, or 6-month max loans, or what?
They're usually a year. You know, and if there's like a business that maybe has to deposit or is seasonal, right, we'll work with them on that. So they're very flexible. I mean, you could pay it off early if you wanted to. Right? There's no penalties for doing anything like that.
But these aren't considered like 5-year term loans or 3-year term loans. These are really short-term.
Yeah.
I think I got one last question, unless somebody else pops up some more questions. I know Heather still got some closing out things. If people want to know more, where do they go? And 2 is, if they want to learn more about the products they currently have, what options do they have from a training aspect of where can they go to get, videos, or is there training programs and things like that?
Yeah, there's more programs that we're working on. I threw a link in there for just a link to the AI piece, just all the things that we have available right now, and that again, that'll grow. Let me add this link into the chat here. It's called sellercommunity.com. That's our main help area where you'll find all our how-to guides, our help articles. You can ask for help in there. You can get help from existing Square sellers that are in there, what are called our super sellers. There's Square sellers that we vetted that have been using Square products and services for a long time. They'll go in there. They'll even write like blog posts and things like that. We had a gentleman who ran an ice cream shop for 10 years in Queens, and they switched from the punch cards to the digital loyalty. And he wrote a blog post on like why they made the switch, how it helped them, what was difficult about it, right? What were they struggling with, how they got past that, and how it's been successful. So you may ask a question like, hey, I'm trying to set up my inventory. I'm just having some issues here. And you may get a response from either Square support or a Square seller that says, hey, I know what you're talking about. Here's how you fix that, right? Here's how that's done, or here's an easier way to do that you may not have thought of. Our YouTube channel is always a great resource as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Martine, I really appreciate the information you've provided. I think it's been very insightful. I've certainly learned a lot. And again, I've taken 3 pages of notes here that I can use. So I'm going to talk to you after this for a few minutes after we finish here. So,
okay.
I guess from here, Heather, I'll turn it back over to you to close us out here. You're muted.
Oh, super. Thank you so much, Tom. Let me share my screen real quick. Just a couple of quick things as we close out. Thank you again, Martine. This was fabulous. So much knowledge that you've shared with us. I really appreciate you making time. I know you have a full schedule and are in high demand to present on all things Square. So we appreciate you being here today for Retailpreneur, and know that we'll get to work together in the future. I encourage you all, if you aren't engaging with us on social media, I encourage you to do that. We can be found at RRSBDC or the Greater Roanoke and NRBS SBDC on these various platforms. Encouraging you all to save the date for our upcoming Entrepreneur Retreat. It is going to be an overnight option as well as a day retreat on Friday, September 20th and 21st at the Preserve at Crooked Run. Some more information coming on that soon. And foodiepreneurs, please save the date for all your foodie friends. For those of you joining us that are watching later, we'd love to have you join us. We'll be promoting that event, and more information to come on that, but that is October 21st through the 25th. And up next, we have a couple more sessions. Let's see. This afternoon at 3, we have a virtual panel, Likes to Loot, Converting Social Media Strategies into Paying Customers. We'll hear from Mary from 310 Rosemont, Pamela from Vintage Vault, Jared from CNF Farms, and Austin from Humble Hustle. And tomorrow is our last day of the conference, so don't miss out on these. And just a reminder, these workshops are all being recorded, so you will have access to those. We kick off the day at 9 o'clock with the Power of Place, using branded interior design to drive sales, from Amanda Forrester. And at noon, we'll have a virtual panel, Selling Wholesale to Increase Your Revenue. We're going to hear from Chrissy and Wes with Sun and Spruce, Kathy and Chad with Bulldog Field Equipment, Jesse from Fermented Hot Sauce, and Cassie from Medina Mercantile. And then our last session of Retailpreneur is going to be held at 3 o'clock as a virtual workshop, Sales Samurai, Mastering the Art of Retail Selling, hosted by Jeff. So we have a great rest of we have 4 more sessions remaining, and excited to have you join us. Thank you all so much for being here today and engaging. Thank you again to Martine and Tom. We appreciate both of you presenting and sharing information.